In a London car showroom, a new ambulance is presented to Bulawayo Municipality by the wife of the Managing Director, Mrs. A.J. Raymond. This is a token of her appreciation of the treatment she received last year at the Mater Dei Hospital in Bulawayo, and was accepted by the High Commissioner, Sir Gilbert Rennie. Little time was lost in starting the ambulance on its journey, and we take this opportunity of expressing our profound appreciation of Mrs. Raymond's very practical and generous expression of her gratitude. Some weeks later, when the ambulance was delivered in Bulawayo, it was officially handed over to the Mayor, Mr. McNeil. It is, of course, a matter of civic pride that a Bulawayo hospital had earned such generous appreciation, a sort of two-way gesture of goodwill which will render invaluable service to the community. It's the Mashonaland Ladies Kennel Association's championship in Salisbury, with a large and varied entry which reached high standards. Having flown from England to act as judge, Lord North Esk is a world authority on dogs, his own speciality being dachshunds. He did a brilliant and impartial job. It's interesting to study the reactions of some of the main protagonists. If you'd been to as many shows as I have, Nipper, you wouldn't be so excited. Ah, you said it. They say that there is boodle in breeding a good poodle. They're faithful, smart, and no one finds them fickle. To get to their best features, you must handle the poor creatures. But they're sensitive and wish it didn't tickle. When Fred Fay and his wife immigrated from Germany, they came overland. For the purpose, Mr. Fay designed and built a special Tent-Caravan trailer. Easily towed over any terrain, Rhodesians were so enthusiastic that Mr. Fay now makes them commercially. Unhooking it from any vehicle over 10 horsepower, the Tent-Caravan trailer can be set up in a few minutes. Simple and ingenious, it's remarkably practical. All the luggage and light furniture is carried in the trailer and is first removed to clear the decks. The only things that don't come out are 2 built-in bunks, but the Tent-Caravan trailer can accommodate up to 5. Well, now you can put your house in order. 3 can sleep inside and 2 on the porch. They are fly and mosquito screened too. Weighing 5½ hundredweight and costing under £300, it's quite an answer to roughing it in comfort. These huge steel balls and anchor chains, allied with powerful caterpillar tractors, are part of a new method of bush clearing in the Kariba Lake. Kariba has taught us more about bush clearing than anything else, and this method owes its success to the heavy rolling balls holding the chains down and not allowing them to ride up the tilting trees. After being cleared, the felled vegetation is dozed into windrows and burnt. No single method has been found to do the complete job, and while the ball and chain operation is effective generally, very large trees such as baobabs are tackled by what is known as a stinger. It lifts as it pushes. The stump is rolled to sever the taproots, and the job is complete. Between the 2 methods, the clearance is excellent. George Hurd of Fault Farm near Macheki, southern Rhodesia, used to be a cattle farmer in the Cumberland Lake district of England. This is the home of the Border Collie, and Mr. Hurd imported 2 trained dogs about 3 years ago. He now breeds and trains them to herd sheep and cattle, and the first essential is to teach obedience. It's all done by kindness, of course, and infinite patience. They must obey visual and voice commands, and also whistle signals. The training starts when they're about a year old, and lasts for about a year. Training is aided by heredity, for the pups are born with a herding instinct, and often start herding up ducks, hens, and cats. But the finer points of rounding up and driving sheep and cattle, they can only learn by watching their trained parents at work. At that, they are quicker and more efficient than human herders. So let's see the result of all this training. Here is a herd which has to be driven in for dipping. As a matter of fact, the dogs train the cattle to connect their actions with movement and not with hostility. Afrikanders don't take kindly to this idea, but the dogs are far too quick and clever for them and never get injured. When it comes to a battle of wits, the cattle are always on the losing end, and they wind up wherever the dogs want to put them. Well, that's the first part of the job done, and now they have to be put through the dip. As every farmer knows, the trick here is to keep them moving, and the Border Collies do it. Mr. Herd is breeding and training these little brain trusters for other farmers, and the new owners find that dipping days no longer mean the frustrations which would even try the patience of a saint. Piet van der Merwe got Vic Smythe around the head and made him ride. Vic Smythe in this predicament said, "I'll get out," and out he went. Then, rising irate from the deck, he tried to sever head from neck. When van der Merwe's ears got sore, Vic dumped him on the canvas floor. But finding all his wiles resisted, Vic Smythe went in and slammed, two-fisted. "Now cut it out, the rules are clear," the ref said, but approached too near. Both men, resenting such a slight, said, "Now then, ref, you want to fight?" Vic Smythe took van der Merwe's hand, but not in friendship, understand. And when he said, "Down, my pet," van der Merwe was upset. In another Grunt and Groaner, Fred Coates half Nelson, Willie Croner. Then over the top went Freddy Boy, much to Koner's glee and joy. But Fred Coates said, "Revenge is sweet," and got a hole that's hard to beat. Coates had Koner sorely stricken, trussed up like a well-dressed chicken. With a seesaw, Marjorie Daw, Koner didn't want any more. Well, now things started to liven up. Thinking the ref had sold him a pup, disqualifying him for something or other, he pounced on the ref, but then, oh brother, Fred Coates decided what was lacking to teach Koner manners was a shellacking. And while the spectators thought it was grand, the whole situation just got out of hand. From then on, one thing led to another. The wrestlers' handlers tackled each other. The crowd was delighted and roaring with mirth. They were certainly getting their full money's worth. As they clawed at each other with intent to kill, it was voted to be the best bout on the bill.